Consumers are planning to spend around $125 billion over Thanksgiving weekend this year. That's according to a new survey from ICSC, and it's a 10% increase compared to just last year. For more on the survey and consumer spending heading into the holidays, we're joined by ICSC CEO Tom McGee. Tom, good to see you. That 10% increase from last year, is that due largely based on inflation?
I think it's a combination. Certainly inflation has an impact on that, but I do think we'll see more demand over this Thanksgiving weekend. Look, inflation is front and center in the consumer's mind. I do think that is what's leading. Quite frankly, you saw strong October retail sales. I think you're going to see a very strong weekend over this holiday as well, because consumers are really looking for deals, and so they're lengthening the holiday season. They're more opportunistic in their buying habits, and clearly Black Friday is known for deals. And so with that sensitivity around inflation and price consciousness, I think you're going to see a very strong demand over this holiday season, over this Thanksgiving weekend.
You don't seem to be worried about consumer fatigue from some of these earlier sales that have sort of started dripping out throughout the year leading up to Black Friday. Why do you think Black Friday is still going to be a boom this year?
I think because of that price consciousness, because consumers are very focused on finding a deal. I am concerned about inflation over the long term. I agree with one of your previous guests that talked about the therapeutic nature of retail. I do think inflation is having an impact on the consumer and certainly consumer confidence, but we haven't yet seen that significantly impact their buying habits, or at least a level of purchases. If it continues into 2023 at this significant of a rate, I do think we'll see some impact, but I don't think we're going to see a deterioration of demand over the holiday season.
Black Friday felt like it started Monday based on our email boxes and really ramped up today, didn't it? I mean, the sales are spread out over the entire week, if not the entire season. Interest rates so much higher. What's been the impact there on the consumer and holiday spending?
Well, clearly we've seen consumer credit increase, and the use of credit cards has increased significantly over the last number of months, and we're starting to see it at concerning levels. Interestingly, when you ask people in surveys how they plan to purchase, particularly over this weekend, you see an increased interest in paying with cash and debit cards. Whether that manifests itself, because obviously there's been a deterioration in personal savings rates and so forth, will be interesting to see. That is a troubling sign, however. Increasing levels of credit card debt. Again, I don't think it's going to impact this holiday season. It could impact 2023, however.
And Tom, in terms of where people are shopping, in your data it says more than 3/4 say that they'll visit a retail marketplace over that 5-day period. 60% in terms of shopping, 48% in terms of dining as well. I think we tend to forget that on top of the shopping, while people are out and about, they're also spending money in other ways as well. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, obviously, going out to eat and entertaining is a big part of the holiday season. Actually, holistically, if you look at the holiday season, our expectation is that food and beverage will increase by 10% year over year. And remember, this is really the first year where we're kind of back to acting as in post-pandemic behavior. And so you're seeing a real return to, holiday dinners, business gatherings, celebrations, and so forth. So all of those things are impacting an increased demand for dining, which obviously, is good for retail sales as well. As more people come to marketplaces to dine, they tend to, navigate themselves into stores and buy more things.
Tom, 21 saw a dramatic return to brick and mortar versus e-commerce. Do you expect that trend to accelerate or reverse?
No, I think that's going to continue. Look, I think to be a successful retailer, you have to have a successful offering in both online and the physical world. But the profitability, the economics of retail are really driving more and more retailers to invest in their physical store network. We've grown accustomed to expecting, free shipping, but somebody's paying for that. And so to the extent that a retailer can encourage a shopper to come into their store, that obviously improves profitability. And to the extent that they can use their store as a mini fulfillment center, which is clearly a huge trend in retail, and you've seen a number of major retailers make announcements to that extent, that reduces the cost of shipping. So I think the use of stores, both for traditional shopping purposes and as a fulfillment center, is really just an ongoing trend that we're going to see continue to accelerate over the course of the next couple of years.
We'll certainly have to keep an eye on how much inventory is left over by the end of this holiday season as well. Tom McGee, thank you so much for joining us, and have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you.